12 and ABC 25. This is First Coast News.
Jaguars head coach Gus Bradley is fired just 1 week before Christmas. Tonight, the future of the franchise. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Crawford.
And I'm Chris Porter. Bradley out after the Jaguars lost a franchise record 9th consecutive game. We have team coverage for you tonight. Alyssa Lang is live at Everbank Field with the Blake Bortles effect. Brittany Dion is live from Tinseltown where fans are reacting to Bradley being fired, while Michael Kay is in the Information Center with who might be the Jaguars' next head coach. But let's get the first things first. Shortly after, before 6 o'clock, Shad Khan handed Bradley his pink slip. This is video of the team returning home on their bus after the game. The Jaguars once again could not find a way to close out a game, and now the franchise is moving on with 2 games remaining in the regular season. Bradley's 14-48 record in 4 seasons with the Big Cats, the worst win percentage in NFL history. Khan released this statement that said, in part, Gus Bradley represented the Jaguars, the Jacksonville community, and the NFL in nothing less than a first-class manner as our head coach. That counts for a lot. It is unfortunately evident that we must make a change. I thought it would be best to do it immediately after today's results so Gus can step away, relax, and regroup with his family during the Christmas and holiday season. Now that we know the Gus bus is pulling out of town, let's take a look at Bradley's tenure here in the River City.
So I'm proud to announce Gus Bradley as our new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Gus bus pulled into Everbank Field in 2013 and immediately had fans fired up. Rookie head coach Gus Bradley's infectious energy and positive personality filled the franchise, a franchise looking for a fresh start with new hope. Second-year owner Shad Khan hired general manager David Caldwell, who subsequently brought in Bradley. Together, the plan was to gut the roster and start over from scratch, a plan they knew would take time, but they believed would produce results in the long run. Bradley came to Jacksonville from Seattle, where he had built one of the NFL's best defenses, and the plan was to mimic the Legion of Boom here in the River City. Since then, Caldwell has held up his end of the bargain, bringing in solid free agents and drafting highly productive players, rebuilding the team from the ground up. However, Bradley was not able to turn the corner. Bradley's overall record with the Jaguars was pathetic, the second worst in NFL history of coaches who have coached as many games as he has. What made his mediocrity worse was the fact that the AFC South as a whole was extremely bad throughout his time in Jacksonville. And while he can hang his hat on the fact that he never finished last in the division, he also never finished first or second. He was consistent, if anything. The only problem, he was consistently bad.
When you see production in moving the ball, but the finish isn't there, or taking advantage of opportunities or these self-inflicted wounds, that's frustrating. It's very frustrating for our coaches and the players. And we've got to get over that hump. 2016
was supposed to be different. Following a 2015 season that saw a high-scoring offense, the team addressed the defense with a star-studded draft and high-priced free agent signings, the likes of Malik Jackson and Tashawn Gibson. The Jaguars were ready to compete for the playoffs. However, it never materialized. More than ever, the coaching staff stood out as the biggest problem holding the Jaguars back. The offense has regressed, and while the defense has shown promise, stupid mental mistakes, questionable play calling, and lots of penalties killed the Jaguars during the first quarter of the season, all of which points at coaching. The team believes the roster is too talented for the results they are seeing, and it's now time to trade in the Gus bus for a new model. For a coach that was given a very long leash, that leash finally snapped. In the words that Bradley became famous for during his time in Seattle, he did not do his job.
Now, at the bottom of the screen, we have a poll asking you, do you agree with the Jaguars firing Gus Bradley? And I think I know the answer. Head to firstcoastnews.com right now and vote. You'll see your vote in real time. So let's continue our team coverage with Brittany Dion, who's at Tinseltown. And Brittany, I'm sure fans had plenty to say about Gus being fired.
Chris, Jags fans have a lot to say. This is certainly the talk of the town tonight, Gus Bradley being terminated. We've been speaking to fans here at the Mellow Mushroom in Tinseltown. I spoke to one fan who said that Shad Khan made his entire week. Christmas certainly came early.
It's great, I guess. We'll see. Hopefully he does great somewhere else, but he's not a good fit for here, I can tell you that much.
He doesn't hold the players accountable like he should probably. He's a player's coach, but maybe too much of a player's coach.
You have arguably the best team talent-wise that he's had in his entire tenure, and he's had, I could say, the worst season.
We're pretty excited. It was time for a change. A little upset. We were kind of looking forward to saying goodbye to Gus next week for the home game. You know,
How are you planning to say goodbye?
Maybe some signs, that kind of thing.
I mean, he got a big heart. You know, he does a lot for the community, but just
Wasn't effective.
right.
It's hard going to the games every week when they're home and watching losses. It's terrible.
Now, as you see, it's a lot of people agreeing across the board. A lot of people happy that Bradley is out of here. I did speak to one guy who said that he doesn't think it's a good decision because Gus Bradley is such a nice guy, but another guy said that being nice does not get the job done and does not get them wins. We're live on the South Side. I'm Brittany Dion, First Coast News.
No doubt about it, Brittany, the NFL is a results-based league. So the big question now is, who will be the Jaguars' next head coach? Our Jaguars beat writer, Mike Kay, he joins us now. And Mike, you're going with your top 3 picks, and it is a gentleman who has ties to the Jaguars franchise.
Yeah, you know, Mike Smith is a guy who was the defensive coordinator when Jack Del Rio was in Jacksonville. He had a 66-46 record in Atlanta, helped improve their defense, also did really well with their offense. He's a guy that right now is coaching up the Buccaneers defense and doing a very good job of that.
Now,
next up on our list, we also have Josh McDaniels, a guy who's done really well with quarterback play throughout his time in the NFL. He went to Denver for a little while. Now is back in New England doing what the best that he can with Tom Brady, which I guess is a lot. We also have Todd Haley right here, who was actually a UNF grad, was the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals when they went to a Super Bowl, then went to Kansas City as their head coach. Had kind of a rough stay there, but now is back in Pittsburgh and is coaching Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell to a lot of success out there. I think those are 3 guys that we definitely want to look at moving forward.
You know, it's just always a good thing.
List again, top 3 picks, Mike Smith, Todd Haley, Josh McDaniels, and I did note there that he said nothing about former Jaguars head coach Tom Coughlin. So Jaguars general manager David Caldwell is expected to hold a press conference tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock to discuss the decision to fire Gus Bradley, and he'll name the interim coach for the final 2 games. Coming up a little later in the show, Alyssa Lane will continue our team coverage live from Everbank Field with a look at Blake Bortles' struggles and if he's the Jaguars' quarterback of the future. But the big news of the day, my friends, Gus Bradley out as the Jaguars head coach, finishing with a record of 14-48, the worst in NFL history. Heather?
All right, Chris Porter, thank you very much. And we have continuing coverage of the Jags firing of Gus Bradley right now online. There we also have Jags beat writer Mike Kay's blog you can read. Just head to firstcoastnews.com. And coming up next, a car burst into flames at a local gas station. Some incredible video right here. We'll tell you more about that, plus a life-changing diagnosis for Jacksonville mom-to-be. What doctors told this woman that has her delivering her baby more than a month early.